Hey guys, it's Mike Chen. Happy New Year! If you didn't know, today is Chinese New Year, or Lunar New Year to most other Asians, and I have been getting a lot of messages asking me to explain the cultural significance of this holiday and what goes on during the celebration. So here's basically everything you need to know about the Chinese New Year. Now, the first thing you need to know is that this holiday goes by the lunar calendar, and the first day of the Chinese Lunar Year may fall anywhere between late January and the middle of February, starting with the new moon on the first day of the first lunar month and ends on the full moon 15 days later. So yes, we celebrate for 15 days. And that's why if you're on your way to Asia right now, probably not gonna be able to see, do, or eat much because yeah, we're all on vacation. Now, before we get into the customs and celebrations of the now, let's explore a little bit about the history of Chinese New Year. I'm sure we've all sat in a Chinese restaurant at some point and seen the 12 animal zodiacs, and you might be wondering, what's all these animals have to do with this? Well, you see, Chinese New Year is a holiday shrouded in myths, legends, and fear. Some say the calendar dates back to 2600 BC when the mythical Yellow Emperor started the first cycle of the Chinese zodiac and named an animal to represent each year in the 12-year cycle. The 12 animal signs are rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, sheep, monkey, rooster, dog, and pig. The pig, which is this year, is the 12th sign in the Chinese zodiac. So if you were born in 1935, 1947, 1959, 1971, 1983, 1995, 2007, and 2019, your Chinese zodiac sign is likely the pig. And I say likely because you would have to convert your birthday to the lunar calendar, especially if you were born in January or February. Now, the pig is perhaps the most complicated symbol since it has both positive and negative elements. The positive elements are wealth, symbolized by the piggy bank, good fortune, friendship, patience, popularity, and peace. But of course, pigs are also associated with stupidity in both Eastern and Western cultures. For example, in English, the word pig-headed means stupid or stubborn. In Chinese, the words 猪头 or pig head also of course has the same meaning, or it could just mean a delicious porky dish. The pig also represents negative personality traits such as being stubborn, careless, absent-minded, disorganized, and mischievous. But the Chinese people believe the year of the pig will bring wealth and prosperity because pigs are also fatty, which represents wealth, because I guess if you have a lot of money, you're gonna be eating a lot. Anyway, the Chinese people see the year of the pig as a very prosperous year, so the next time someone says to you, "You're a pig," don't get mad. Own it. Just tell them, "Thank you very much. Yes, I am very complex and prosperous." Also, who doesn't love bacon? Speaking of bacon, let's talk about some of the traditions associated with Chinese New Year, namely all the eating. The two most important meals of the New Year happens on New Year's Eve and on the 15th day, the last day of the celebration. But during all of the 15 days of the New Year, you essentially eat non-stop. Basically, you wake up, eat, nap, eat, go to bed, dream of eating, wake up, and repeat. And this all starts on New Year's Eve at a meal we call 团圆饭, or reunion dinner. This is when everyone in the family will travel to usually the grandparents' house and feast together. That's why during this time, plane tickets to Asia is pretty much the most expensive. The meal will have a ton of dishes, but will always include two things: dumplings and fish. Now, the dumplings, besides being just the most iconic Chinese dish ever, also represent fortune because they look like little gold ingots. Fish is eaten because the word for fish in Mandarin is yu, which also sounds the same as the word yu, which means plentiful. So eating fish during this meal will symbolize a plentiful and prosperous new year. But make sure not to flip the fish over when you're trying to access the meat on the other side, because if you do, that means you're flipping over all your fortune and prosperity, and basically you're gonna be poor because you don't know how to debone a fish. Also, you'll probably see a lot of fruits like oranges around because oranges in Mandarin is called jinju, because little Mandarin oranges are called jinju, or golden oranges, and gold. You get the idea. The other equally important meal happens on the 15th and is called Yuan Xiaojie, or Lantern Festival. This day is when the moon is full or round, and the Chinese word for round is yuan. So this is when everyone will sit down again for tuan yuan fan, or together round meal. And the circle is used because it is the most complete. During this meal, besides all the food, we also eat yuan xiao or tangyuan, which are usually stuffed with sesame, peanuts, and a whole lot of love. On this day, lanterns are usually displayed around town, and kids would often walk around with their own lanterns after dark. This again is tied to a legend. Well, many variations of a legend. The one I heard growing up was that Yuan Xiao was originally the name of a palace maid who could make delicious rice dumplings for the Emperor Wu Di of the Han Dynasty. But she was very sad because once she entered the palace, she lost all contact with her parents and sisters, as it was forbidden for palace girls to be in touch with their families. One day, she was so homesick that she was crying in the garden. That's when a government minister passed by, heard her story, and promised to help her. So the minister set up fortune-telling booths around the city, but told everyone that a fiery dragon was going to burn down the city on the 15th. When the emperor heard this, he asked the minister to help, and the minister told him to light lanterns all over the city so that when the dragon comes, it will think it already lit the city on fire, because that dragon evidently is not very smart. And also he said that the dragon loved sweet gluten rice balls, because all dragons love those instead of princesses. So that's what the emperor did, and Yuan Xiao's parents and sisters came to the city to admire the lanterns, and it was able to reunite with her. You know what? This story always made sense to me when I was a kid, because every time I was hangry and upset and breathing fire, sweet rice balls do always make me feel better. Another custom I love during Chinese New Year is receiving ya sui qian, literally meaning age-suppressing money. It symbolizes the attempt at stopping the kids from growing older, and in my day, it was really the only allowance we got. Yeah, annual allowance. Also, I just want to say, giving little kids a ton of money in a single lump sum, and I know it's tradition and all, but probably not the greatest idea. All I remember is feeling so rich receiving that money from all my relatives, and then somehow by the following week, it all turned to chocolate. Other traditions during Chinese New Year include, get this, no cleaning, because you don't want to sweep or in this day, rumba your luck away. You also should not wash your hair on New Year's Day, because the word for hair in Mandarin is fa, which sounds like fa meaning riches. So don't wash your riches away. Also, don't cry. There's a saying that if you cry during the New Year, you're gonna be crying throughout the year. So this means no watching Forrest Gump during that time, because Forrest and Bubba and Jenny is just you just can't help yourself. And finally, another tradition is to wear red and set off some firecrackers. And of course, this ties into another legend. Remember how I said in the beginning that Chinese New Year was shrouded in myth, legends, and fear? Well, according to legend, a long time ago, there was a monster called the Nian, or the Year Monster. It was a fierce beast that would come from the ocean to eat children every spring. The people were so scared of this monster, but really had no idea what to do about it until a Taoist priest showed up and told the people that the Nian monster was actually very scared of loud noises and the color red. So the people used firecrackers and they wore red, and they hang red banners outside their doors to scare the Nian monster away. Now, I remember my parents used to tell me stories of the Nian monster, and I would be terrified. Of course, now thinking about it, if I saw that monster, I'd probably scream, and then the monster would be running away because of the loud screaming. Also, if it bit me, I'd be bleeding, and that's red, so I guess that would scare it away as well, unless it swallowed me whole. Anyways, probably best not to dive too deep into this thing. So there you go. Hopefully you guys learn a bit more about the Chinese New Year. And finally, a lot of people hear the phrase "Gong Hei Fa Cui" and think that means Happy New Year. It's actually a Cantonese saying meaning wishing you fortune, and of course, feel free to say that, nothing wrong with it, but if you want to say literally Happy New Year, it's 新年快乐. So guys, 新年快乐, wishing you a happy year of the pig. Be prosperous, y'all. Thanks for watching. See you later.